Yo, yo, mic check, mic check. Let me know y'all can hear me loud and clear out there. Right here, quick. Thank you for tuning in here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, as always, Edwin, and we have an amazing show for you here tonight. Had a little late start there, but we're here. We are in the building where the all fights start. Round one. So thank you for tuning in. As you join into the live stream, please let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. And we're gonna talk boxing. At some point, I'm gonna put this is happening over and over again. My title is the wrong title. I'm not gonna do it this way anymore. I'm gonna have to go into the studio the other way now. Okay. All right. Hopefully that did it right there. Okay, I like that. Let's see if it changes the title. Because coming in right now, when I check the title, it had the other old title still in effect. So we have a lot of boxing headed our way. Um there's we're gonna close off the year pretty strong. Um uh Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez. That's a good fight card right there in itself. On that fight card, I want to see the co-main. I can't lie. I'm leaning more towards the co-main event, right? Where I want to see the rematch with Espinoza and Robesi Ramirez, and I would like to talk about that too as well. But this stream right here is in support of Naoya Inoue and Sam Goodman's fight, and breaking down, off the video I made this morning and touching up on that. I really would like to see and get your guys' reaction on who do you think is going to win this fight and why? Many people are saying that, Naoya Inoue should win this fight. And some people believe he should win it convincingly. I'm more on the line where that, um, yeah, that should be the case. That should be the case. But I don't, I don't take away from the fact that Sam Goodman has earned the right to be there. I don't underestimate him in any way. I believe that the other guy in this fight is the more skilled of the two men. But even though I believe that, um, one punch can change a fight. So when we look at Sam Goodman's situation and how we came about to being here, you know, um, once upon a time, Naoya Inoue was decided to move up from 118 to 122 pounds. And since he entered the 122-pound weight division, he has soon declared himself king by unifying all four belts. Now, you know, uh, some might say, what some of these guys were doing during this time while he was coming up, because some of these guys are natural 122 pounders, and you have to think that Naoya Inoue came up from 108. It's not like he started his career at 122. So most of these guys were guys that were 122 pounders, and that probably were going to start to transition upwards in the division. So when you got that, in a sport that is driven by ego, violence, um, people are gonna not be believers when you got a smaller guy moving up. He shouldn't be the bigger puncher. He shouldn't be the bigger threat. In those kind of situations, is usually the challenger moving up. But since entering the 122-pound weight division, Naoya Inoue, 6 months, man, he had all four belts, and he's already coming up in another title defense where he's putting up all four belts once again. So very, very, very fast, he's established himself at the 122 pounds, made himself king, and is already in the verge of breaking records with each title defense. When he puts up all four belts were up against Luis Pantera Nari. All four belts were up against TJ Doheny. Those are two successful title defenses on all four belts. And as the rotation in each belt fluctuates, because the WBC went first, then the WBA went second. I don't know. I think so, right? Right? And then Sam Goodman is the number one for the remaining two. So when we look at situations like this, the number one guys and the mandatories can't say that they're not getting their shot. And Naoya Inoue's weight division, he's doing the one thing in boxing we all talk about. We really do. We talk about guys ducking other guys. We talk about guys not signing up to fight them, right? And we see that, you know, man, this guy is fighting all the top guys, all the mandatories. He's not avoiding any of the guys at 122 pounds. He's consistently fighting the top guys or whoever would answer the call. Because let's not forget here, right? I can't make the number one ranked guy, the number two guy, the number three guy accept the fight. I can't make him do that. In sports, in the boxing world right now, you know, as far as reputation wise goes, it's took a hit of late. There's been several fights of late that the fans have been clamoring over to see, and we have not gotten. And also, the fans have been patient since 2023, 2022, when the four horsemen were actually at 135. The Teofimo Lopez, the Tank Davis, the Ryan Garcia, they were all there at the exact same. Devin Haney, they were all there at the exact same time, and they were supposed to clash. The only fighter that actually fought any of those fighters was Ryan Garcia. He actually dared to be great and fought Tank Davis and Devin Haney. And he's the one that initiated the fight versus them. And he was considered to be the weakest out of the four horsemen, which was Ryan Garcia, which turns out, man, that one trick pony is pretty good, huh? Right? But the fight got taken away from him, and we understand all the controversy behind that. But taking things personal, like, who am I to judge Ryan Garcia and to hold him at what standard? I'm not no athletic boxing committee. I'm not the Ryan Garcia brigade, and I'm not starting a a petition against them. So if I'm not doing any of these things, then anything other than that, you're pretty much hating or just making it personal. Whether or not you feel Ryan Garcia said anything out of his mouth, shit, name me one person on earth that hasn't slipped up with their mouth. So holding on to anything that he said, you're just taking it personal. You're just actually using it to your advantage so that you can get sympathy out of the fans and say, look at me, I'm taking it personal and I'm not letting Ryan Garcia off the hook. Really? Really? Like you don't live in a glass house. Who without sin throw the first stone? You've never said, did anything bad in your life. No but nothing. Ryan Garcia is still a kid. And kids say the darnest things. I want to hold them on anything that he said or whatever or what have you. Yeah, right. That's pure hate from the person that's spewing it, pretending to be all noble. No, that's just the person wanting to keep the hate alive, not to letting it diffuse. And you know what they use it by? They say, "Oh no, we got to keep these people accountable." Well, then you have a long list, and it doesn't start with Ryan Garcia. You see? So anybody that's like still hanging on to that is just a hater. And that's 100% truth. Because there's no perfect human in this world. We all deserve second chances. I know I do. I know I am not perfect. Who am I to judge that kid? He is more successful than me. At least he's doing some shit. So for me to sit here and keep bashing him, bro, that's just pure hate. You know what I'm saying? You don't support no movement. You're not contributing to nothing. You're not donating any money anywhere. So what you doing? Just talking about it? So can you do something? Or are you just all talk? So if you're all talk, you should leave the kid alone. If you ain't doing like, yo, bro, like really, we're not perfect. They try to make it like Ryan Garcia. And then I heard somebody say that they were even taking it a step further and looking at Derek James, his coach, because he's a brother. Wow, some of these people are like, they try to act like what they're talking about is in the right direction. It's just hate. They sound more evil than Ryan Garcia. At least Ryan Garcia foolishly came out, said this, or angrily said it. He was in his feelings. You're just spewing hate on the kid. Even going as far as even questioning Derek James. Anyone that's ever said anything like that is a straight racist. How are you going to find Derek James to say break ties with him because he said this? Really? Come on, at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia ain't no racist, bro. Come on, man. Right? We've been all guilty of saying some stupid shit, bro. That's not they're trying to like take it and make it all his like fault and shit. And even say that Derek James is what? He's got a job to do. He's got a family to feed. What that? Yo, he can't control what all these fighters say. All he can do is be a good coach and a good family man and a good husband to his family and do his job well. Yo, Ryan Garcia, man, you be fucking up, but let's go to work. This is what you pay me to do. Unless you do some real dumb, like he keeps, but come on, man. Really? If you really think about that, about everybody else, you got a long list. You need to start checking some real people that are real haters, that spew real hate in this world. Go start that way. No, but you want to get on little Ryan I because you're a bully. Because you're a bully. And you use your microphone to bash Ryan Garcia. And to keep the hate alive. That's bully mentality. Agreeing that he don't get into a video game. Really? Really? You're going to hate on somebody's money? You're going to hate on the kid for he can downfall in life? Let's take away everything in his life. Let's bring him down to obscurity. Would that make you happy? Right? You're just evil, bro. That's it. You're just a hater. Because the kid is successful. And he said some shit. So fucking what? You know how many times I heard Oscar De La Hoya say some shit? Mayweather, Bernell Hawkins. You know how many? Mike Tyson. Bro, there are thousands of boxers that said some shit. Thousands. Right? I'm not going to hold these. What are these guys? They're fighters. You really, come on, man. They're going to say some bad shit. Bernard said one of the worstest comments ever. in the history. And I don't see nobody protesting to move Bernal Hopkins out of boxing or away from Oscar De La Hoya. Why don't they talk about him? Why don't they talk about some of the racist comments some of the other guys made? Right? No, they don't want to. You know why? Because they're singling out Ryan Garcia to make him the bad man. They're singling him out. And anybody that's ever reported on that kid like that, bro, come on, listen. It is what it is. It was what it was. You guys know what it was. I know what it was. I'm from the streets. I know what that is. Ryan Garcia fucked up, bro. He got all in his feelings. He was probably intoxicated, and he said some dumb shit. I've said dumb shit before in my life. You've said dumb shit before in your life. I'm pretty sure you said something in your life you wish you could take back. You think that the entire world should hold you to that? So why are you bullying this kid? Why do you keep bringing it up? And every freaking video that you guys do, you guys are the real bullies. You guys are the real bullies. And they just bashing this kid. Bro, that's not the problem with the world, bro. He's not the reason. There is real cases of real hate, real racism shit. And we need to deal with that. And they're trying to make Ryan Garcia and that's my problem with it. You know what I'm saying? The kid's he's got already in a shit world of trouble. His career is tarnished. He don't know where the PE really came out. He looks confused as ever. His life is spiraling out of control. Everybody's around him. Women, people with their hands out. Your mom and dad are living off your name too. Your brother. Everybody, bro. He's got all this pressure of the world, bro, all around him. He announces his retirement. He's like, I'm going to retire. We've heard this before. And the kid just had a complete meltdown, bro. But I feel bad for the kid, bro, in a way. But at the same time, I'm no fool. I don't believe every sad story I hear. You know what I mean? But at the same, I really don't care too much about Ryan. Like, let Ryan do Ryan shit, right? I'm not either against him or in support of him. Neither. And like, I'm not even a fan of him as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I just cover the sport. I don't really like his fighting style or nothing. But enough is enough, bro. Bashing somebody every chance you get, that's just, you know what I mean? You guys are turning into the bullies. Not letting somebody clean up their mistake or giving them a chance to show you that they was fucked up. You're not even giving them a chance to try to clear himself. On top of that, you just keep bashing him and bashing him just to get him angry again for he could come out and say some shit. That's all you guys are doing. There's not a fucking person in this world that's perfect, bro. And I don't care what situation you use in your life to justify why you shouldn't talk about him. Well, why don't we talk about you and all your fucking shortcomings? Because I got a whole bunch of them. And you know what I'm saying? Man, listen, I understand. I can identify with a person spiraling out of control, with a person with mental health issues, with a person that's publicly with the cameras and the light. I can imagine what that's like as a kid that young. All the pressure of all that. None of these guys, they sit in front of their thing, ain't accomplished a goddamn thing in their life, and they want to talk about his mistake, his error, what he said out of his mouth. So what? So what? Get over it. Get over it. Like, let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Do you really think that he's like that? Nah. So, look, like I said, I'm not in support even of Ryan of anything he's done. I think he should got suspended more for the PEs. I think he should tighten up his circle. I think he's a foolish young man. I think he's wasted talent. I think that he's really talented, but I don't like any of his life choices. As far as in an individual, Ryan Garcia, bro, I would never really look at him as a role model to tell any of my young boxers to look at that kid and say, mirror yourself after him. Absolutely not. That would be a kid in a situation I would tell my boxers, don't end up like him. Don't be this Ryan Garcia. Don't be that person and be in front of a mic and say something you gonna regret. And then double down on it and then say, talk about religion and talk about rich people and talk about sacrificing kids and talking about the children this and save the and praying in the. This kid was having one of the worstest meltdowns in the world, bro. But I can identify that. I can identify it. I don't like anything he did. I don't stand for anything he's done. But who am I to bash him? I know people want opportunities to change, and that's all I was saying. And that's all I'm going to judge him on. I don't think he's the type of kid that's out there really doing real evil. Nah, I think he said some shit that he regrets. I think he was probably intoxicated and he's stupid, bro. And he says some stupid shit, bro. But do I really believe that that kid lives a hateful life, a racist, hateful life? Like homeboys ready to put on a sheet. Come on, man. That's a stretch. And even though I don't like anything he did, I still don't like to watch bullying. I'll always come into the defense for someone that's getting bullied. I don't know. It's just when I see it happening, it's something inside of me. I got to stick up for a person, whether I like the person or not. I don't know. I've been like that my whole life. I don't know why I do it. I come to these fucking dudes' age, man. I really don't even like them. But bullying is bullying. That's what it is, straight up. And I don't like it. Because if he was my son and he said some dumb, at first I probably would have smacked the shit out of him. I would have had him make a public apology. And as a father, I would have put him in his place so that he could start really showing real change. I don't think he respects his father. I don't think Ryan Garcia respects anything. I think the money that got to his head, and he's like, he's slowly losing himself, man. He's a train wreck, bro. He really is. I wish him the best. I hope Ryan Garcia really gets it together and, he makes a turnaround. But I'm willing to give him an opportunity. I'm not willing to take that athlete that messed up and say, hey, you could be the next Michael Jordan, but you know what? We should put you in jail for 5 years and ruin your career and your future. You know how many times they've done that to people around, and that person he just wanted a chance to change. And I believed him. I was like, yo, bro. He goes, if I was given that chance, my life would have been different. But yet they didn't believe in me, and I only fucked up one time, and they dropped the hammer on me, and my life was over. And I know that a lot of these men and women were treated unfair because of stereotype. And I know a lot of my friends that were gifted athletes that they were really treated unfairly, to tell you the truth. And taking away a kid's career or shaming him more on the mistake he already did, to try to discredit him and throw him out of boxing. That way he can never eat again. You're so fucking evil, bro. You're so evil for even thinking something like that. But you don't see yourself. You don't see yourself. You're taking everything out on him. And it was just fucking crazy for me to watch the world do that to him. It was like shocking in a way. Yeah, because he read the room, bro. This kid was having a meltdown right there. You can't say he's having a meltdown leading into Devin Haney fight and all this stuff, and then turn around the next foot and say, Well, just because he's having mental health issues doesn't give him the right to say this. So we have to fully hold him accountable. You're a hypocrite for even thinking that. Though your thought process is it's a little borderline like, yeah, you're like a hater. Yeah. Because nah, nah. That bothered me a lot. Yeah, that kind of situation when I think about it. And then I watch him having a fucking meltdown. Poor kid, bro. I'm like, man, but like I said, he's such a fuck up, bro. He is such a fuck up. Uh, but anyway, you know, there's a lot of situations right now in the sport of boxing that are gonna start to like we're gonna have to see how the world accepts these fighters. Devin Haney's going through a peculiar situation where he's coming off that loss, but controversial got overturned. Which now, when he's announcing his next fight, I want to see how the fans greet him in to Devin Haney. And it's kind of fucked up that Devin Haney, bro, like he only lost one fight, and for such a young fighter, he achieved a lot, man. He did, he really did. And no matter how you might look at his title run, he fought one guy for he got emailed one belt, and he fought one guy for three belts, and you know, but he did defend him against Loma. He did honor that. You can't say he didn't do that. And he did beat Loma. At least that's what the judges say. I don't care about my opinion. What's going down in the record book? He beat Loma. That's it. That's it. So, Devin Haney, man, he's another kid that is getting a lot of scrutiny, and I wish that the fans would give him a chance. Give Devin Haney a chance. Let him see if he show us with his fist. And Devin Haney and his dad need to just slow down a little bit and when they get back on top, don't get so cocky and arrogant. Good to talk regular boxing shit talk. That's perfect, bro. But all this the greatest fighter in the world talk, walking around with these 7-foot bodyguards portraying the image that you're like a young Floyd or something. Forget all that bullshit and lifestyle and those chains, man, and focus on the gym, Devin Haney. I think you're a talented kid, but I think you have a lot of distractions in your life. And it's up to Devin Haney to try to put this together, but he's in another one that a lot of fans are bashing, bro. And I'm just like, man, Devin Haney, he's not a bad person. He didn't really do fuck up anything really bad. He lost one fight, yeah, and it looked bad for him. But is it for that much for all these people to be like, and then he did the carnival thing, but Devin Haney, I believe, is another person that deserves another chance, man, in boxing. And we as boxing fans, maybe, whether you want to see his fight or support him, but I, I think we should support him. I think that, if Devin Haney lets us down and he goes in there and he looks real bad and, he starts losing fights, well, then he wasn't the fighter we thought he was. And he's going to be exposed. But for everybody getting all over Devin Haney, bring Ryan Garcia to court and everything like that, man. My man was just looking out for his best interest, Devin Haney. And I understand it's hard being from like the streets, thinking when a person says court or judges, but these are professional athletes in a professional sport. And at this level, there's certain ways to do things. You just don't take it to the streets. This is not something like that. This is professional sports, and this is how you would actually go about it. So, and viewing things in hindsight, I've seen some boxers' careers and, outside of boxing, their careers take a hit. Errol Spence Jr. right now is supposed to be fighting Sebastian Fedora for like 1,000 years now, right? And it seems like forever since he got into the ring with him after he beat Tim Tszyu, and a lot has happened since then, hasn't it? But it doesn't seem like Errol Spence Jr. is any closer from entering the ring with Sebastian Fandora. It's going to be another case where Errol Spence Jr. is holding up another fighter's career. And that's exactly what's going on. He held up Terrence Crawford, and he's going to hold up Sebastian Fandora. And to be perfectly honest with you, I would never want to see Errol Spence Jr. in the ring with Sebastian Fandora, because I believe Sebastian Fandora will knock Errol the fuck out. Errol Spence Jr. won't last with Sebastian Fandora with all this inactivity and that massive ass whooping he took. He hasn't been doing shit. That man is not ready for a fighter that is as active, as long and tall as Sebastian Fandora. I'll take Sebastian Fandora against this version of Errol Spence Jr. any day. All you're fighting is his name, and everybody wants to get tied up and like, oh no, the man he once was. He is no longer that man. Didn't look like Errol Spence Jr. in the Terrence Crawford fight, and I don't need no more evidence. Coming into that fight, he said he was at the best shape of his life and that he felt the best he did and he was ready. So if that's the best version that you can come up with, brother, I feel sorry for you if you fight Sebastian Fandora. And that is the truth. He is never going to be that guy again, ever. Didn't he just have another detached retina? Yes, his body is falling apart quickly on him. And I think for Errol Spence Jr., in his case, he should just go into boxing promoter and call it quits. He made a lot of money, a shitload of money. Just manage your money well and make smart business decisions, and you should be all right with the money you made in your life. And don't fuck up your legacy. You know, and another fighter that's coming back is Jamel Charlo, that I believe he deserves a second chance. A lot of these guys were doing drugs and crashing cars, going on radio talk show hosts and begging for money, right? And they were doing a lot of dumb shit. But I believe he deserves a second chance. I don't think that just because domestic arrest cases, a crash, hit and run case, and the two brothers have picked up charges, you know. But should I sit here and say they're a disgrace to boxing? They should no longer be able to box. Jamel Charlo and Jamal Charlo are what's wrong with the boxing world, and they should never. No, I wouldn't say that, because they're not what's wrong with the world or the boxing world. They're fighters, and they've gone through some shit, and they've been in some situations. But don't give up on them. Don't if people didn't give up on me in life, maybe I would have been something. If somebody would have been there for you and not gave up on you, why is it we quick to just shit on one person and allow the other person to get away with it? I believe you can give a person, some chances, and depending what they're doing with their chances, there's dumb shit, yeah. And you don't want to enable someone. And that's the worst thing you can do, is enable a fighter's or a person's behavior. Bro, if he does it that one time, he does it a second, you're on your own. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Yeah, you're gonna have to try to get that, but there's a lot of these guys that are in these situations in boxing, and I'm not ready to give up on them. And I don't feel like I should be bashing them because they made a couple life choices. Nothing that I've mentioned was so bad that we should kick them out of the sport. They haven't done anything on that level where that I'm just like, you know what? This dude is just a fuck up. He should just wash our hands with him. None of these guys did anything like that. And I believe that they deserve, second chances and shit. So, yeah. Why have people hated on Naoya Inoue? And he has done top level shit. Why can't I hear my mic on my head thing in my ear? I can't. All right, I can hear it there, right there. All right, cool. Well, probably because this was down. The reason why a lot of people hate on Naoya Inoue is because he's great. All legends get hated on. And if you followed any legend in your life, You would recognize a pattern once I say it, right? Floyd Mayweather got booed in Las Vegas and hated on in his own city, and he was great. Tom Brady went to the Super Bowl 10 times, and they hated on him in awards. Gave it to other people. Why? You won too much. That's what they said. That he won too much. Right? So when they hate on you in a sport, that's a clear indicator or clear sign that you are the best in that sport. If you win too much for too long, the fans want to see someone else. The fans always love and they attach themselves to an underdog story. Most people can relate to an underdog, you know, because most of us are always fighting this thing we call life. And each day we show up. And each day life kicks us right back down. So identifying a man or a woman, that maybe didn't have all the skills in the world, but their heart was on full display. And they might have been losing the entire fight. And they got that one shot. And even though the fans have their money on the other guy, they can't help but cheer on the guy that was losing, the little engine that could. And depending how he came back in the fight, it, so that's why when Naoya Inoue um started to make his rise up, what they tried to do real quick was silence him. The only reason why you actually know Naoya Inoue today, it's only because of one reason. And I'm not sure it would have been because of his skills, unfortunately. He still would have been the same man. He would have been knocking out the people, but you wouldn't have known of him. The only reason why you know Naoya Inoue is because of Top Rank and Bob Arum. Um, you know, um, because of Top Rank and Bob Arum, they couldn't silence him. They tried to down his credibility now. Yeah, in a way, they try to down him and they try to make all kinds of accusation. Even legends such as Floyd came out and made steroid accusations against another champion. How dare he do something like that when he's a legend himself, knowing when they made accusations against him using steroids or he trying to say he was cleaning up the sport, right? That um Floyd didn't like that shit. Why would a decorated Hall of Fame legend talked and revered in many circles as probably the best fighter and to ever do it as Floyd ever have to come out and accuse another person, another boxer in his beloved sport of boxing, which I'm pretty sure Floyd wants it to stay alive? Why would he do that? Think about it. You know why? This guy actually has a chance of erasing Floyd Mayweather's reign as the greatest fighter to ever do it. He's soon going to enter. You got to stop that shit. And what he tried to do was get the fans not to tune in, not to watch Naoya Inoue. So you never got, just he knows how powerful his words are. With just that statement alone, probably thousands of American fans got turned off like this from Naoya Inoue. Because a lot of people, you know, um, some people, unfortunately, they don't like to believe that they're sheep. Everybody wants to be a leader, but they're sheeps. And when their leader said something, they went right along with it. But if you ask them, are you a sheep or a leader? Oh, I'm a leader. Yeah, right. You don't know the first thing about leading, So it's like they I could see why they hated on him, because he was actually too good. That's his one fuck up. Naoya Inoue's mess up. That's mistake, right? Well, it's not a mistake, but he's doing it way too good. That the way that hurts him, that he's doing. I'll explain why that's messed up. Right? He has 28 fights. He's 31 years old. 4 more years, he'll be 35 years old. If he has 28 fights, he started his career at 19 years old to 31 years old, right? And he only has 28 fights. Okay. He went too fast. He didn't have enough in between fights to make 30, 40, 50 fights. With only 28 fights, he's never going to catch Floyd Mayweather in 50-0, right? With only 28 fights, he sped through everything and he fought lesser champions because he fought lesser fights. Even though he did all these guys' records, Floyd's, Terrence Crawford's career, he chopped their career in half. He accomplished everything they accomplished and much more in a shorter time. So good, in fact, that he's not going to be able to beat Floyd's records, because Floyd fought, what was it, 23 world champions? He fought the most world champions any boxer in history has ever boxed. And that's a prestigious accomplishment. When you can look on your record and half those men were all world champions, shit. And from the moment Floyd Mayweather won a world title, he never stopped being champion. He went on a 20-year reign as a world champion. That's all you knew Floyd as. So some of these records he has, by the amount of fights he has, Naoya Inoue is not going to be able to catch him, because he did it too good, too fast. You see? And then Floyd's going to be able to get away with it. But, and then we enter another room. The room that Floyd never accomplished, that only Naoya Inoue accomplished. For instance, all 4 belts, 2 separate weight divisions. Floyd's not in that room anymore. Naoya Inoue is in his separate room. But make no mistake, don't be Clarissa Shields. And right now, Clarissa Shields is going through a lot of things, and people are getting on her. Another fighter, I believe, Clarissa, bro. She deserves another chance. Let her retake back some of that shit, right? Because, see, Clarissa Shields' whole argument of being the GOAT, her entire argument, the key to her success is that she did something no other woman did, right? So by that standard and that merit, she stands alone. So if you view it like that, oh yeah, she's right. The problem with thinking like that, that's a one track. You don't, as a person, you don't think of other options. You usually typically think of 1 or 2 and you go with the first one anyway that you thought of. You're not a thinker. You can't see your way through a problem, right? Thinkers, they understand there's multiple ways out. There's one way I could have addressed this. This was another. I could have handled it like this. I could have did it this way. You see, it's not always one way. So what Clarissa Shields did was, she saw one accomplishment. She knew no other woman did it, and she used that to stamp herself as the GOAT. Here's the problem with that. Same thing with Floyd and Naoya Inoue. There are certain things that Floyd did, Naoya Inoue will never do. And there are certain things Naoya Inoue did, Floyd would never do or never has done. But just because you have that one thing that you're in a room by yourself that no one else ever, that doesn't define you as the best. You just, out of all the achievements, out of the hundreds of achievements, the top 10 achievements to have, Clarissa Shields got one of them out of the top to separate herself. She didn't see it, and that's why she got blindsided in this debate. When she finally came out and started, and everybody was like, wait a minute, you're really going to put your record against Amanda Serrano? And then from what I heard and from what I saw, she, I made a video about it, and I said, Clarissa Shields, please don't do this. Please don't, because the fans are going to turn on you. The very next day, everything I said in my video, if you go watch my video, it happened to her. I felt so bad for her. I was like, damn, Clarissa, man, fuck, right? Because she is an American fighter, man. And these are my guys that you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm like, come on, man, fuck, man, right? But fighters sometimes can say some shit, but am I going to hold Clarissa to that? Nah. If y'all didn't hold LeBron James to that ridiculous statement that he said he's better than Jordan, and y'all still say, well, okay, he's not better than Jordan, but he's the king now. Okay, so give him his credit for the king now. That's what they said, to try to take him off the hook. That LeBron, put the fishing hook in his own mouth. It was like the fish jumped on the hook. LeBron did that to himself, right? So when it comes to these kind of situations, yeah, Clarissa says some shit, but so what? So what, man? So what? We fucking human, man. We're cocky. We're arrogant. She thought she was the best. She thinks she's the best. So fucking what, bro? She thinks it. Is she? I'm sorry, no. I'm gonna be honest, but in a sport where you're awarded by aggression, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But people are gonna check you on it when you start claiming some shit. It's always good to believe in yourself. You can believe in yourself, and it's cool. It's cool to be cocky, arrogant, all that other shit. But once you start saying, I'm the best to ever do, what'd you say? What? Oh, okay, prove it. Now you got our attention. Because remember, you're saying you're better than typically these guys is legend. Nobody's legend likes to get talked down to. Not even the great Joe Montana. Joe Montana was him for years. Every time the NFL threw a banquet, Joe would walk into the room, everybody would stand up. Tom Brady came along. Now, when Tom Brady walked in the room, everybody stood up. Everybody stood sitting when Joe Montana walked in the room the next time. But they still have a lot of love for Joe, and you got to back it up. If you're going to say you're better than their legends, somebody's going to call you out on it, right? So when Clarissa Shields, that was my point. Even if you don't think that Amanda's the best female boxer in the world or of all time, who actually is? I'm not as fluent on female champions as I am in male champions. And that's due in part to me. I'm growing in the sport, and I've got to study the girls and I want to know all these things. And whoever it is, that means she's disrespecting her. Because if she's not beating her numbers, and if she's not doing the things that other lady did by declaring herself the GOAT, some of the fans were going to turn on her. And I felt like, yeah, that was going to happen, but fuck that, bro. Clarissa's the shit. I don't give a fuck. She's the shit. All right. She's done some shit. Congratulations to her and Amanda Serrano. They're both queens in my eyes. Both of them are winners, and they're doing real shit for women boxing. Amanda more than Clarissa Shields, but Clarissa Shields can start taking a page out of Amanda Serrano. And Clarissa Shields, she's a great champion, man. You know what I'm saying? But everybody wants to be the best, and everybody wants to support their brand, and sometimes we'll say some outlandish shit. You know what I'm saying? But am I ready to quit on her? No, hell no. That's fucking Clarissa Shields, bro. Are you crazy? Right? You know, I'm not going to get into this race war. I'm not going to be like, nah, I'm going to pick Amanda. Bro, do I have to say I got Amanda Serrano? I'm Puerto Rican. That's like, that's a no-brainer. Let's just kick that out. Amanda, in my heart, is reigns supreme. But I don't got to shit on these other girls to promote my girl. My girl knows who she is. Amanda Serrano knows who she is. She doesn't need me to tell her, but just in case she would like to hear it, Mamita, you are the best. You are the best. 7 fucking weeks. Get the hell out of. She is the best. But there's room. Amanda fights in one weight division, Clarissa in another. She's the GOAT over here. She's the GOAT down here. There's room. You know, they're not even in the same weight division. So, but that's another situation where, no, I'm not willing to give up on these fighters. You know, we're human, bro. And that's been, you know, I kind of got off the topic with Naoya Inoue and Sam Goodman because I already made a video this morning about them and I broke all that down. So, you know, I kind of felt like I wanted to talk about a lot of things, and that Ryan Garcia shit just popped in my head out of freaking nowhere. And I was kind of sick of everybody bashing him. You know what I'm saying? And the people that were meaning good and well, because there were a lot of people that when he said what he said came out and they had all the right in the world to feel like that. You know, but I think that once we got a certain point and you read it for what it is. You know, you when you're playing spade, you don't force a renege just because the guy let the card out the hand. You know, he has the right to pick up the card and put it back in his hand. You know, he has you could have said some shit. And it's not the first time he said some shit. He said some shit how many times Tio says some shit? How many times did Bernal Hopkins say some shit? How many times did Mike Tyson say some shit? How many times a lot of our greats, Roy Jones Jr. has said some shit. All right? Marvin Hagler, no, he was a class act. Who else? There's a few, right? But I recognize that as being that. Exactly that. You know, so you know, look, I believe that Devin Haney deserves, you know, to at least be given an opportunity with the fans to prove himself. You know, Shakur Stevenson is another one. You know, Shakur Stevenson said some shit, blatantly made himself look like a duck in several situations. Am I ready to walk out on Shakur? Fuck no. Fuck no. You know, and Shakur is from the city I was born in. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I was born in Newark, Brick City. And like just from being a home dude, I'm like, oh shit, like Shakur, like come on, right? And but nah, I'm not gonna rock with favoritism. I just can't do it. But I'm not willing to just keep bashing these dudes, you know, and trying to like tarnish a lot of these guys. I'm cool with the shit talk. I'm cool with calling guys ducks. I'm cool with calling our guys out on their bullshit when it has to do with boxing. I'm cool for saying how they did in their performance. I got no hair on my tongue when it comes to bro. You're claiming to be this guy, but you're not showing up. You know, yo, I got no problem with that. I got no problem with that. But bashing a guy and want him to get banned from a sport he can't provide for his family. This is all he knows how to do. What is he gonna do? Work at McDonald's? Like, but you don't care. Long as you sit at home behind your microphone, you got your justice, right? Which right is right because you've never done any wrong. Come on, man. Come on. That's not what these cases are, bro. You know, I believe Jamal Charlo deserves a second chance. Shit, even Adrian Broner deserves a fucking second chance. And Adrian Broner came back and we still supported his ass. His big out of shape ass. How much stuff has Adrian Broner disrespected women right in interviews? saying how he wants to have sex with them in an interview, how he was banging prostitutes all night, just blatantly disrespecting women. But do I expect anything less? It doesn't excuse him. No, it doesn't excuse him. But he's actually not hurting anybody. He's just talking shit. And as long as he doesn't touch that woman, or try to trap her in a hotel room, or do some fucking fuck shit, then, that's when you start crossing lines. I can't back you there. I can't back you. But like all I've been saying, the situations that they've been doing is usually like they were talking. They're just basically talking. And that's what happened with me, man. I'm just, not for talking. Not for talking situations. You start doing some shit, man, I can't fuck with you. Ryan Garcia, he's on a limb by himself, man. He really is. He never proved to me he didn't take the PEs. He didn't. I can't accept him as a clean fighter. I just can't. He's gonna have to come back, pass some tests, get under the radar, and come back and perform as a clean fighter. And we know that they got their eye on him and they're taking the test. But until he does that, I'm sorry, Ryan Garcia, but you never proved to me where that shit came from. So unfortunately, Ryan Garcia, man, look, I came to your defense and everything, and I feel like the people should like give you like a break. Just back up. Let the kid, breathe a little. Like, but he's got a lot of proving to do. That does not take away from what happened, unfortunately. And if I'm being fair, I'm being fair in every avenue, in every aspect. Just because they're bashing him doesn't excuse his behavior prior to that. So it doesn't excuse it. But I'm on the line that we all deserve to try to like make things right. If you're still in the situation where you can make things right. If you've already crossed those lines and you've gone too far, well then hey, that's what it is. You've gone too far. But I don't believe that any of these men or women have gone too far in my eye. It's only us, the public, that kind of push these stories higher or bigger and keep dumping gasoline on them and keep igniting them whenever it benefits them to talk or put down one of these people for they can get clicks, views, and likes. But, some of these people have real families and they got, and I wouldn't want my career to get taken away by some words that I regret. And I've seen people get pushed out of sports for words. What was that owner? He was a basketball owner, and the young girl caught him on the phone and she turned the tape in and he was talking about black folk on the tape and they like banned him from the NBA and he was forced to sell his team over words. Over words. And the way he was saying it over that phone, bro, he sounded like he meant it. Like he was like hurt, and that's how he felt. And people can get jammed up over that stuff, and you got to check out where it's coming from and shit like that. And these are no easy, sensitive topics, but it happens every day. And a young man being a minority growing up in America and where I grew up from, I've experienced it firsthand. I can't tell you how many times I've been called so many different names from different nationalities and you know so and I've been a victim of that, but through their ignorance made the man you see before you today. They taught me, like my family taught me, you don't have to stoop yourself to their level. You don't have to get ignorant or evil just like they did just because they did. They haven't put their hands on you, right? Nope. Okay, then walk away. You don't have to challenge everything. You don't have to fight against everything, but you can speak up for what's right, right? And if something's affecting you, you should be able to speak up against it. And we've gotten to that point in the world. And sometime when real issues are being spoke up against, you got bullshit situations like this, where that, you know, there's like a guy saying he's being abused or something, right? He's like, I'm being abused by this guy, my neighbor. Okay, what kind of abuse is he abusing you with? Verbal abuse. Every day he verbally abuses me. And as for men that are like big, strong fighters, and we're looking at this guy, he's verbally abusing you. And you're like, well, then say something back to him. Like, oh no, he hurts me, cuts me deep with his words. It's, warrior guys, we don't understand that. We're looking at you, but to him, he's not a fighter. And words hurt him. And you don't have the right to do that. So, you know, that's where we've gotten in the world. And then sometimes there's people that when real cases happen, you hear of cases like this. And they try to make it just as big as a real big case. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunate because like there's women that live in domestic violence every day, and there's women that live in domestic violence every day. And you should hear some of these women and this woman saying, "Oh, I was abused for years. What did your husband do to you? He called me mean names every day. Did he ever hit you? No, he never hit me. He just called me names." Ask the girls that been had put cigarettes on, turned off on them, irons, been beaten, their jaws broken. And when she hears that, she's looking at her going, "He yelled at you. I don't have all my teeth because I looked in the wrong direction." You see, it's not the same, and that's what I feel sometimes with some of these cases. I feel like some people take it too far because they can. I feel a lot of people like to pull out the race card whenever it's convenient for them. It seems like it's the go-to now. Whenever you're or someone's debating with you or talking about anything, just quickly call him a racist first. That's it. That's all you got to do. And I'm not sure if this is good or bad for us as a society. I'm not sure. Look what they did with employees now. Your employee can say to you, "Listen, my next door neighbor's daughter is having a baby, okay? And they're going through a tough time. I can't make it to work." They would have 20 years ago, they would have fired you for that. Now they can't fire you for that. You got to be considerate to everybody. Now, a manager or a boss doesn't even have manager boss power. All you got to do is go to HR and tell on him, he'll get fired. All the managers in today's era and bosses know what I'm talking about. They live in fear of now the employer. They seem to have more power than the fucking people that own the business now. Is that where you wanted this to go? Is that good for us? Are you guys happy now? That lettuce and tomatoes cost $5. When yo, I don't know how many comedians I heard. Ralph Mayer, he died, God rest his soul. A fat white dude comedian. He was saying it. If you guys deport all the Mexicans and everything, they're like responsible for like a huge portion of all the vegetables that are picked. If you take them all away, you think you're gonna have the American kid out there picking it in their flip flops? And what do you think you're gonna pay him to pick that? Pretty soon, tomatoes and they're gonna be like $12. Yo, he was right. That was like 10, 12 years ago when he did that comedy sketch. I'll never forget it. And we're living in that time today. Are you guys happy? Sometimes they do shit, and that's what I'm talking about. We get to a certain point, we think it's good. We think like, yeah, man, you shouldn't talk like that about nobody, and you should everybody should hold everybody's. Then all of a sudden, we started naming ourselves. And that's why I personally I don't play this game. And it's no disrespect to no one, to anybody when they try to say like the women, that letter stuff that they have, the LB key community, whatever. I've never taken the time to learn that because I feel that that's another case of control. You're trying to force me to repeat your letters in a thing I really don't understand or believe in, right? When my mom named me, she named me Edwin. That's the name I go by. That's the name that they tell me. By me altering my name, like in the streets, when they do it, they get a nickname, they change their name. That's not my name. If I go around telling you I want to be called Miguel today, right? That's just me trying to be controlling to the world. Then the next week I say, not only do I want to be called Miguel, but I want you to spell it out because each letter means something and it means something to me. And I come up with a slick saying. Now you're just adding on to the bullshit. And I feel like I don't want to play that game. I don't force you, my beliefs onto you. Don't force yours onto me. That's it. The world is big enough for all of us to live. Do you, I'll do me, whatever. You know, I just want to make it through this motherfucker, man. You know, be enough to see my grandkids get bigger and experience more life. Maybe meet more people on vacation somewhere and experience a life I never really had. Not that I really had, I just my approach to life was wrong. And it wasn't until I didn't feel ashamed of everything I've done. I let that shit all go. You chalk that to inexperience. It's not like I was born they had a fucking manual. Hey, you're supposed to do this. I made some mistakes. I said some shit. I did some shit. And I realized some of the stuff I learned, I got to unlearn it. Some things I have to learn. And that's all I can do. But yeah, man, these conversations like this gets me thinking. Sometimes we could talk more than boxing sometimes, and these conversations lead to other places and other things and stuff. But my whole thing was that watch what you turn into. You can turn into the very thing you were fighting against and not even notice it. You can turn into this very thing you were like, you had all this passion to like help or to, stop the abuse or whatever it was, but your intentions going into the thing was sincere, admirable, and then all of a sudden with your own eyes you start to witness bully behavior. When I saw Kevin Hart um be announced as the Oscars host, then the um transgender or gay community, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, but I had to stop going that way. I got stopped at those words, and that's all I know. Because I'm not playing this game. So the transgender or whatever community, right, publicly told Kevin Hart to come on publicly and apologize for the comments he made years ago. Not yesterday, not last week, not how he has matured as a person, but I'm going to hold you to what you said in an era where it was okay to say it. I'm going to take that, bring it into this era, and publicly embarrass you to show how much power the gay community has. On full display, I never seen anything so despicable. That was bullying 101 at its finest. I've been a bully before in my life, and I'm going to tell you right now, there was no other higher way to bully a person. You mean to tell me you basically crucified him and forced him to get up like your puppet, or you were going to boycott him and shame him? Not for something he said yesterday, last week, last month, for something he did in a time where everyone was doing it and it was accepted then. Yo, when I saw that, I was like, yo, they turned into the very things they were fighting. They were fighting against bullying, letting someone be whoever they want to be, let same-sex marriages marry each other. If this is your life, allow yourself to, live free the way you feel, the way you want to express yourself. Then when they got there, they really flexed and they started shaming and boycotting, like the list goes on, like little baby, right? He hasn't even did a concert since they boycotted his ass, right? Yo, pure bullying. Like at its finest. That is amazing to watch, and no one seems to recognize it. It's just like, oh yeah, what they're doing is right. No, what they did to Kevin Hart was so wrong on so many levels. They embarrassed him. They publicly put that, yo, his career could have went like, unless he bent the knee. Yo, it was truly remarkable. It was like they had a gun in the back of his head. I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life. And that's when I decided I can't know. And I voted for them. I voted for same-sex marriage. I voted for that shit. Like not in like a real vote, but like in my peers, with my peers and community and shit. I was like, yeah, man, anybody should be able to live the way they want. If that's the way, that's a firm decision, my man. If that's the way, then yo, I'm happy for you. And I would never like want to see anybody do anything to anybody in front of me and stuff, or because I don't like bullying at all. So I would never let it happen in front of me. You know what I mean? I just can't. It's just in my DNA. So whether you were that way or not, I would still save you, no matter what. So I just saw the world do this so many times, and I've seen it on different stages. I've seen bullying done in sports. I've seen people blackball other people and radio, profession. I've seen this all kinds of ways, and this life has taught me that. And I don't just walk through life not identifying what I see and what I go through. I no longer do that. I look at shit and I'm like, yo, like, trying to find out how to navigate my way through this shit, bro. Life is a motherfucker. Life kicked my ass, bro. And every day, bro, I get the fuck up, man. I get up. I probably picture myself in my head. I'm standing there and I'm just like beat up. Like both my eyes are closed. Blood's coming out my mouth. I lost a few teeth. My ears are bleeding. My clothes are ripped. They're dirty. And I'm getting up, wiping my nose, and that's how I feel life got me. But I'm gonna get up. I gotta get up, you know. So, um, just find your niche. Find your niche, be kind, be courteous, you know, um, be as gentle as a lamb, but shrewd as a snake. There was an experience I experienced one time. I'm not sure if I shared this with you guys, but I'll leave you guys with this. I thought being religious or holy man meant that I had to be weak. I thought that when the women put on skirts and didn't shave their legs and didn't put on makeup and they had a bad past experience, you start to convince yourself long enough, um, you'll forget you were that kind of man. And then when something serious happens, I froze. I was like, and I didn't like that feeling. I had to remind myself of who I was or who I am and what I'm capable of doing in order to try to snap myself out of it. When I saw that, I knew right there had to be a balance. Good and evil will never disappear. If you think you're going to live in a world of all good, yeah, right. It's the yin and yang of the universe. It's what makes everything go round. There's going to be bad shit and there's going to be good shit. It's up to you to navigate all through this shit. And you know, don't give up on yourself. Don't. That's the worstest thing in the world, to always answer somebody else's problems. You can tell somebody else how to do something, but you can't do it. You have trained yourself to not do too much. Don't wait for life to happen to start living. Start living now, and maybe life will happen. With that, I leave you. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I understand tonight I kind of went a certain way with it, but I love to, I'm a conversationist too at heart. So, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about as well. But look, there's a lot of fights and there's a lot of things being said, like I said, and just don't allow that to turn it inwards. Everything you hear, it's not always cutting dry. We don't have to go from 0 to 60. We don't have to forgive everybody. And sometimes we have to determine how far you've gone to be able to be forgiven. If you've gone too far, maybe you've gone too far. But listen, thank you for tuning in. Please give this video a like, guys. Let me read your comments at least. You know what I'm saying? I was saying here now I see that you guys has actually started writing. I was just going off. I'm sorry. Legend, what's up? What's up, Round One Sports Talk? Respect boxing fans. Yeah. That was a lot of boxing questions right there. There's a lot of guys that are scared to go toe to toe with Naoya. In a way, just to answer your question real quick, it's not smart to go toe to toe with him with the kind of punching power that he's already displayed. I believe that it's going to take a more technical guy, and you're going to have to hit him with a shot that he doesn't see. You're gonna have to study him just like Luis Pantera Nari did. And Luis Pantera Nari threw off that punch. He didn't see the punch. He just knew it was gonna be there. That's the kind of punch you're gonna have to hit him with. And well, we'll talk more about that, guys. Wow, you guys are like really. Oh, hold on. What do you say? Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. So, gentlemen, I'll be on tomorrow. I'm going on tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, I'm going on again. I'm gonna give you guys the schedule. I'm gonna go on certain days at the morning at 9, and I am going out throughout the days on the thing. But I gotta get this together. I know I said that last time, and I allow myself to do this, but I'm gonna stay focused. Tomorrow, see you and the guys in the morning at 9 o'clock. Tune in here, Round One Sports Talk, where do all fights start? Round one. Good night.